This is the aspect that we don't talk about very often, and I think we should look at it. Sam, I want to know your opinion when it comes to divorce. I will start this way that, and this is a very crucial, this is a very important issue. Are there cases, are there situations which you will recommend a divorce? Among Christians, I have seen where some get to a point where it is obvious in most cases there is somebody that is just not willing for the marriage to work. Usually, this is someone that will even defy pastors or the word, and unfortunately, most times we've seen men doing this, and not limited to men, even women at times. Somebody being totally unreasonable,
Yes.
and making everything. At what point, and in this case, what should a Christian do? Are there situations where Christians can actually, that you will recommend that, look, from what I'm looking at, I will support should you choose to move ahead?
Okay, very good question. Again, I did a video on this some months ago, and it really trended. People were confused. Many Christians have never really studied the Bible. Jesus never said anywhere that people can never divorce. Interestingly, most of the time we're the one misquoting what he said. Now, as a standard, marriage wasn't designed to be broken. So that's what Jesus said. He made it clear that, look, from the beginning, it was not so. If you do it right, it's supposed to work right. But we are human beings, so we take something that is perfect. When human beings begin to handle it, it's like the gift of prophecy is a perfect gift. But when prophets start to handle it, if they are not really sanctified or they're not in tune with God, they can enter deceit. Everything God makes from his own end is perfect. Usually when it comes down to the hands of men, there begins to be issues. So God didn't design marriage for divorce. God hates divorce. I hate divorce. Even the divorced hate divorce. People that have divorced, they don't like it. They know the problem in it. So we hate divorce. However, there are cases where even scripture supports that you can divorce. So one of the cases, in the case of abuse, all right? I don't have all the scriptures here, but somewhere in Deuteronomy they mention how that, in fact, the whole thing that started the creation of divorce was abuse. Where a man will marry somebody, will get tired of her, keep her aside, marry another person, and is not taking care of any of her needs. He's not meeting her financial needs, not meeting her sexual needs, not meeting, and those days as a woman, women didn't work. So if I was not meeting any of your need, you are really in trouble. So God instituted divorce not for the wicked man. He instituted it for the woman being abused, saying, look, if you know you're not going to take care of this woman, release her to go and do something with her life. That's how divorce came about. It wasn't for the man to marry 13 people. It's that, okay, you are maltreating this woman, let's free her to go and do something with her life. So that's how they started divorce, Deuteronomy 22. So, in the case of abuse, divorce is allowed. In the case of abandonment, divorce is allowed. So you hear things like, if the unbelieving wants to depart, let him depart. That's, you have somebody married, they carry their bag, disappear. You've not seen them for 3 years. They are already gone. Whether you say you are divorced or not, they have gone. So waiting there for eternity doesn't make sense. The Bible is clear about that. If you depart, you are free. The third area is adultery. Because sex is a covenant. Sex is the joining of a man and woman. When a man is a woman is cheating on his partner, the partner has a right. Now, all these things are that you have a right to divorce. It doesn't mean you have to divorce. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. So if your husband or wife is abusing you, it doesn't mean you have to divorce. You might need to separate to make sure the situation is controlled. If they have abandoned, if you can wait if you want to. If they cheated on you, it doesn't mean you have to divorce. But it means you can actually divorce if that's what you want. But you don't have to. Jesus expects that you walk in love, you forgive, you work for healing, you find restoration. That's what he expects. However, these 3 A's I mentioned, abuse, abandonment, and adultery, are scriptural grounds that God gave for divorce. All right? They are scriptural grounds. It doesn't mean you have to take it. But the doors are scripturally open at those stages for people to divorce. And the biggest question people ask is that if somebody is divorced, can they remarry? Again, the answer is yes. In Matthew 19, Jesus answered the question. They asked him, can somebody divorce for any reason? He said, no, not for any reason. That we don't even want you to divorce at all. But what he said was, I was now quoting Deuteronomy 22, where they talked about divorce and remarriage. Okay? The scripture just was quoting. Divorce was mentioned and remarriage. In fact, the reason why they even started the divorce is so that that woman you are maltreating can go and remarry. I don't know if you understand. This is short. It's a long story, but I'm trying to keep it as short as I can.
Thank you so much, sir.
Ancient truths versus modern reality.